It's been a busy one, Gunners fans. There's no Premier League football, but we're back this weekend with the FA Cup. We're going to take a look at what we've been up to this week, as well as the FA Cup clash with Newcastle. Stay tuned. As I alluded to in the intro there, guys, it's been a really busy week for Arsenal. We're into January now, we're into the new year, and that means the transfer window is open again. And Arsenal have been unusually busy. We're normally quite reticent to do much business at this time of year at the top end, preferring to do our business in the summer. And there are many pros and cons, obviously, to that stance. The longer term investment is always better made in the summer, and the global pandemic means that transfers are even more fraught with risk and danger now, as it were, particularly as English teams are the only ones with any money, and the continental teams are looking to do smaller deals, loan deals and things of that nature. We struggled in the summer, in fact, to get rid of a lot of our deadwood, and that caused in some way the pickle that we found ourselves in November, December time, which hopefully we're coming through now. But that said, William Saliba's out on loan. Good for him. Some first team football, some competitive action. He should come back a better man and a better player next summer. The Ozil situation at long last looks like it might be working towards a resolution. Much depends on, of course, on him and whether he can get as much money as he feels like he needs on top of the vast cash pile he already has. But if we can get some solution worked up to that will be the end of a very painstaking chapter in the Arsenal saga, as it were. Whatever you feel about the situation and whether he should be on board for the last 6 months while Smith Rowe gets the minutes, it's not healthy as it is, and something needs to happen. So Fenerbahce are being talked about, as is DC United in America. Either one works for me, frankly, and if he can agree a deal this month to go, great. That frees up a space, that slims the squad down, and that's been the stated goal from day one for Arsenal, so good stuff. Kolasinac has obviously already gone. He's gone back to Germany for 6 months, and likely that'll be him done and dusted. I don't see that he'll force his way back into contention in the summer when he comes back. I think perhaps the global situation would have improved to the point that someone can make a concrete offer for him and we can make some money back, money that we're obviously going to need. We've also got Matt Macey on the verge of joining Hibernian up in Scotland. I don't get to see him every day, obviously, and I feel like the manager must know something we don't, and the coaches must know something we don't. But I saw Matt Macey play against Norwich a couple of years back, and he was absolutely fine. He was relatively decent. Granted, it was a League Cup match, not the sternest test of his career, but the fact that Runarsson is preferred over him, I think, speaks volumes, and it's a great shame. But we do have multiple options in our youth team and reserve teams for goalkeepers. So Matt Macey, 26, it's about time a resolution was found for him. It looks like he's on his way to Scotland. That frees up more space for the likes of Okonkwo, Dejan Iliev, Karl Hein, and all of those promising young keepers we have. Let's see where that goes. So it has really been a busy one for us, and I expect more to happen. Mustafi may move, who knows? He may just be happy to sit in his contract. Ditto Socrates. He may choose to stay, he may choose to go. The indications are that he would prefer to go, which is great. And that's another 2 players, another 2 sets of wages off the books, more space in the squad. And that gives more chances for the young guns. And that means we might be able to bring one player in the attacking midfield position. Who that is, we don't know. There's no indications as yet. The manager hasn't really touched on any specifics or committed to any definite purchase, but it does free up some valuable space. Solves a few headaches for us, slimlines the squad, and then we can kick on. And speaking of kick on, it's the FA Cup this weekend. Not the most consequential fixture, and with a Premier League fixture next week, perhaps not one we'll be fielding the big guns for. So that in turn means that some fringe players can get some much needed minutes, and I think it's justified to do so. If we go out of this one, then we go out of it. It's a competition that we have a long and proud history in, and we've won it more than anyone else, but we have bigger fish to fry this season. We've got an outside sniff of a tilt at a top half, maybe even a top 8, top 6 finish. Given the inconsistency of the teams above us in the league, that's not beyond the realms of possibility. I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but if we have to sacrifice a distraction in the short term for some long-term gain, then this is probably the one to do it in. So that could mean playing some fringe players, some more youth players. That could mean the reintroduction of Thomas Partey. I hope it's not too soon. The manager seems to think he's had plenty of time this time around. He didn't have too much time when he was rushed back in for the North London derby, and that cost us dearly. You'd like to think that this time they'd been more cautious with his reintroduction, and we might see someone a bit further down the road to recovery. So if he can get 45 minutes in, brilliant for us. And it's not a game that has as much pressure as a Premier League fixture. So, of course, there are risks in any game in fielding our star man. But if we can get him 45 minutes under his belt, he can get back into contention for the Premier League next week and really kick us on when we're on the up. So that's great. As for other fringe players who might be in contention, you've obviously got Willian, Nicola Pepe. You probably see Eddie Nketiah. Balogun, I'm not really sure. There's rumours abound that we've hit a real roadblock with any negotiations on an extension for him, and that he's on the verge of signing for a club outside England. And to that end, it wouldn't be right to include him in the first team if he has no intention of signing. Let's get him back in the under-23s and give those minutes to someone else. I don't think anyone would fail to support that notion. So we may or may not see him. I think that if we do, that will speak volumes about, and even if we don't, that will speak volumes about where we are with his contract situation. Other players, Reece Nelson, Joe Willock, I would fully expect to see those involved in some capacity, if not starting, certainly on the bench. And then you might see Callum Chambers, you might see Marie again, or you might see Gabriel, of course. We may see him again, coming back after his COVID layoff. I don't know at what stage of his recovery he's at, whether he's been tested. But he may get the minutes now in a bid to ease him back into the first team. He's been away for 3 games or so. So I think that team will put in a good effort. But I think it'll be a fringe team, giving some guys some minutes. I expect Newcastle to do much the same, to be honest. I don't expect that they'll put out all of their Premier League 11. They've got concerns of their own regarding relegation. They need a few more points on the board before they can start to look up. Ditto us, if I'm honest. I think we need another couple of wins to be really sure that we're through the malaise. So I don't think Newcastle will be risking it or going all out for the win. I may be wrong. I don't know Steve Bruce well, but he seems to be a shrewd operator. I don't think this will be his priority. So it'll be a fringy affair, but that might be good for the style of football. We might see something more progressive, attacking, players looking to prove a point, and that's good for everyone. That's what we want to see. In terms of key men for this one, I have picked Nicola Pepe for Arsenal. This is a big game for him, a massive game for him. In fact, he should be starting. I'd like to see him start. I don't think Willian needs to be starting. Whatever we think about Willian, let's keep him on the bench for now. I don't think he needs the minutes. I'd much rather Pepe were given the minutes, but that depends entirely on the manager. You kind of feel like the manager trusts Willian to do a better job, to do a more intelligent job at the top end of the pitch, give him that technical security. Something that Pepe arguably doesn't give us. He's a little more lax in his defensive responsibilities, but neither player are in fantastic form or highly thought of by the manager at the moment. But I would like to see Pepe. It's going to be a big game for him if he can start. He's been great in the Europa League, inconsistent in the Premier League. But he is our second highest goal involvement candidate. I'm not sure what the better collective term is for that, but he's second only to Lacazette in that respect. He's scored 5, assisted 3. He's been busy, in fairness to him. And I think he can kick on in this competition. This is a good chance for him to show what he can do again, to really stake a claim, because he's fallen to 3rd in the pecking order with the emergence of Saka on the right and the manager's preference for Willian. A little bit make or break for him, I wrote on the blog, and I stand by that. A bad performance sets him back and keeps him on the bench for the foreseeable, frankly. So let's get him up top, give him the ball, see what he can do, see if he can cause Newcastle some problems. If we get through, fantastic. If he has a great game, even better. For Newcastle, I've gone with Joe Linton. I don't know a tremendous amount about what they've done this season, but I know that he's been coming to the fore much more so than he did in his first season. He's a bit of an enigma by all accounts. He's either terrible or brilliant. We'd like him to be terrible on this occasion, but he has some goals to his name. He's got an assist as well. He could be dangerous if he starts. He may be preserved for the Premier League, I don't know. But if he starts, he's going to be the man to watch, to keep quiet. But this is really all about Pepe for us and what he can do and whether he can really stake a claim, link up with his right back or link up with Eddie up top. I expect to see Eddie start. And if he can, brilliant. In terms of predictions and expected outcomes for this one, I don't think it's massively important for us. We've got a little bit of winning momentum behind us now. It would be brilliant to continue to build on that. for the players on the fringe to show that they can do a job when called upon, and they can step up and play with the same verve and enthusiasm that the senior 11 is starting to build up. But it's not the end of the world, a defeat in this one, because we have more important fixtures. The league is everything for us, I think, this season, before the Europa League restarts late next month. We really need to be focusing there, and we got a run of fixtures that are eminently winnable. So this one's a little bit of a sideshow. I'd much rather it were a Premier League fixture, but it is what it is. This is our competition in many respects. If we can get a win and play well, that can't do us any harm. So we got a good chance. We're at home. Let's see what we can do. Let's see what these fringe players can do. And that is it for this match preview. Gunners fans, we've had a look at all the biggest issues in what's a busy week. I expect it to be a busy month for Arsenal as they shift a lot of players out and maybe bring one in. So stay tuned for that. That aside, thanks for tuning in as always. Give us a like, give us a share, and we'll speak to you again after the match. Take care.